Today, we are diving into a world that's completely invisible, a world of heroes and villains, of life givers and life takers. We're talking about microorganisms. Are they our friends or our foes?
Okay, let's start with something you've probably seen 1,000 times. You leave some bread on the counter, it's a little humid, and next thing you know, it's covered in these weird, fuzzy, grayish white patches. Where in the world does that stuff come from?
Well, it's not magic. Those patches are actually alive. They're the work of a vast, unseen world of living things called microorganisms, or microbes for short. And they are literally everywhere, in the air, on our hands, and just waiting for a tasty snack like that loaf of bread.
So let's pull back the curtain on this hidden kingdom. What exactly are these microbes? They're so tiny, yet they have such a huge impact on our world. Generally, we can sort them into a few major groups. You've got your bacteria and your fungi, which is what was growing on our bread. Then there's protozoa and algae. And then you have viruses. Now, they're a special case. They're kind of the pirates of the microbial world, because they can't reproduce on their own. They have to invade a living cell to make more of themselves.
And when I say they live everywhere, I really mean everywhere. These little guys are unbelievably tough. We're talking about freezing cold ice caps, boiling hot springs, you name it, they can live there. And yep, they're also living inside of us right now.
Which brings us to the friend side of the story. Because while some microbes are bad news, a whole lot of them are absolutely vital. They are our helpful heroes working behind the scenes. I mean, just look at this list. Think about it. The yeast that makes bread rise, that's a microbe. The bacteria that turn milk into yogurt and cheese, microbes. They help create life-saving medicines like antibiotics, and they clean up the environment by breaking down waste. But maybe one of their most important jobs, the one that keeps our entire planet fed, happens right under our feet.
Check out this number, 78%. That's how much of the air we breathe is nitrogen gas. Everything alive needs nitrogen. It's a key building block. But here's the catch. For plants and animals, it's like having a locked safe full of food. We can't get to it. We can't just breathe it in and use it.
So how do we unlock it? This is where our microbial heroes come in to save the day with something called nitrogen fixation. There are these amazing bacteria in the soil that can actually grab nitrogen from the air and change it into a form that plants can soak up and use. They're the key that unlocks the whole system. And this shows you the entire beautiful process. It's a perfect loop. First, the bacteria fix the nitrogen. Then plants absorb it. After that, animals get the nitrogen by, eating the plants. When those plants and animals die, other microbes break them down, returning the nitrogen to the soil. And finally, to complete the cycle, some different bacteria turn it back into a gas, releasing it into the atmosphere. It's nature's ultimate recycling program, all run by microbes.
Okay, but that's only half the story. For every microbial hero, there's a villain lurking somewhere. So now, let's flip the coin and look at how these tiny organisms can cause some major harm.
The microbes that make us sick, the bad guys of our story, have a name: pathogens. And they are masters of infiltration. They can get into our bodies through the air we breathe, the water we drink, pretty much anywhere. These pathogens are the cause of what we call communicable diseases. Basically, illnesses that can jump from one person to another. Just think about the common cold. Someone sneezes and suddenly the air is filled with thousands of tiny, virus-filled droplets, just waiting for someone else to breathe them in. It's that easy for them to spread. And here's a quick look at some of the most well-known offenders. You've got tuberculosis, a bacteria that spreads through the air. Chickenpox, a virus that travels by air or just by touch. Cholera, another bacteria which contaminates water and food. And malaria, that's caused by a protozoa and carried by mosquitoes. Every group of microbes has its own troublemakers. For most of human history, we were pretty much defenseless against these invisible invaders. But slowly, discovery by discovery, we started to understand them. We started to learn how to fight back and tip the scales in our favor.
You can see the big turning points right here. It really started with Jenner and the first vaccine for smallpox. Then Pasteur figured out the role of microbes in things like fermentation. Koch was the one who proved that a specific bacterium caused a specific disease, anthrax. And then, the real game changer, Alexander Fleming's accidental discovery of penicillin.
And that discovery gave us our single most powerful weapon in this fight: antibiotics. These are medicines that are designed to either kill off harmful bacteria or just stop them from growing in our bodies. Absolutely revolutionary.
But, and this is so important, this weapon has to be used carefully. You should only ever take antibiotics when a doctor tells you to. If you use them when you don't need them, or you stop taking them too early, you're actually training the bacteria to survive the drug. You're helping them become resistant, which is a huge problem.
And of course, it's not just about medicine. We also figured out how to fight microbes on another major battleground, our food. We learned that things like salt and sugar make it hard for them to grow. We use heat, like pasteurizing milk, to kill them off, and cold to just slow them down. And something as simple as sealing food in an airtight bag is really just a way of keeping the microbes out.
So, after all of that, the good, the bad, and the ugly, where does that leave us? What's the big takeaway from all this? I think the main thing is this. Microbes aren't really good or evil. They're just a fundamental force of nature, like wind or water. They are absolutely essential. They run the nitrogen cycle that feeds our planet. But at the same time, they're capable of causing incredible destruction. It's a paradox.
And that kind of leaves us with a final question to think about. We live with these organisms every single second of our lives. They're our oldest companions on Earth. As we learn more and more about their invisible world, you have to wonder, how is our relationship with them going to change in the future?